Hi all you lovely kings, queens, and in-betweens. My name is Elaine, and today I'm going to be discussing Rebel Games' two-player board game Blossoms. It's for ages 8 and up and should take roughly 20 minutes to play. The goal of the game is to grow the most beautiful, tall, and diverse flowers, so you can achieve the higher score and win the game. First, you're going to shuffle all the cards. Then you're going to give each player their 3 special action tokens in their color. From there, you're going to place the 4 flower pots in a row in the center of the playing area within reach of both players. Then you're going to deal 4 flower cards, one above each pot. To start the game, there must be a different flower above each pot. If you happen to deal a duplicate, discard it and deal the next card from the deck. Then you're going to shuffle any discarded cards into the deck and place the deck face down within reach of both players. Then, without looking, you're going to discard 1 card face down into the box, and it won't be used during the game. Last, you're going to deal 2 face down cards to both players. This will be their starting hand. Now you're ready to play. The player who has watered some flowers most recently becomes the starting player. Players are going to take turns in an alternating fashion. Each turn starts with the growth action. Other actions may be performed in any order, including repeating the growth action. The player takes as many actions as they wish until their turn ends due to cutting a flower, passing, or having bad luck. As I've mentioned previously, your turn always begins with the growth action, which works like this. You're going to flip over the top card of the deck, and you're going to look at that card. I have drawn a flower that doesn't match any of these flowers here, which means I've had a stroke of bad luck. Now, my turn ends immediately and I just stick this in the discard pile. Now, it's the next player's turn. Now, let's say it's your turn. So you begin with the growth action and you happen to flip over a card that matches one of the cards already in a pot. You're just going to add it to that pot. Like so. And you could do this as many times as you like. Now, let's say you flip over a card on your turn, and it doesn't match any of the flowers in the pots, but there is an open pot. Instead of having bad luck and ending your turn immediately, you get to add this flower to the pot and proceed with the rest of your turn. The next action you can take is called the plant action. Once per turn, you can add 1 card from your hand to a pot with the same flower type as the chosen card. You cannot add the card if it exceeds the 6 flower limit. Note that after playing a card, you don't draw another one. Additional cards can be drawn after performing the special pruner action, which I'll get into later. So, for example, the red player happens to have another yellow tulip, so they can add this tulip to the one that already exists on this pot here. As I mentioned previously, a flower cannot be higher than 6 cards. So, if I were to draw a card, and it matches one of the flowers here, and it would be the 7th flower card of the same type, you have bad luck and discard all 7 cards. The flower dies and your turn ends immediately. The next action you can take is known as the cut action. This allows you to choose a pot with at least 2 flower cards and take all of the cards on it. You get to put this set in front of you. It will be scored at the end of the game. Each set is treated as a separate set. You can't join sets of flowers of the same type, but you can have 2 sets of the same flowers. Note that your turn ends immediately after this action. So if I were the red player and I wanted to perform this action, I could cut these roses here, put them in front of me, and end my turn. The final action is known as the pass action and is exactly as it sounds. You can end your turn without cutting a flower. This game also contains special actions. Once per turn, but after the obligatory growth action, you could put one of your special action tokens on a pot without any tokens on it. As you can see, the red player has already done this. At the start of your next turn, remove the token from the game and discard it into the box. It has 2 effects. First, until your next turn, the flower in this pot cannot be cut and collected by your opponent. Also, at any time during this turn, you can use this pot's action. Each pot has a separate action. The watering can on this pot allows you to add any 1 card from your hand to the bottom of any flower in a pot. This card now counts as that type of flower, making the flower taller. You cannot exceed the 6 card limit. The fence allows you to, once per turn, while performing the growth action, ignore bad luck. You discard the card which caused bad luck, and you continue your turn instead of finishing it. The rake allows you to peek at the top 3 cards from the deck and put them back on top of the deck in any order, while the pruner allows you to draw a card from the deck and add it to your hand, but you don't show it to your opponent. The game ends when the last card is drawn from the deck. At that point, the active player plays their turn. If that player was the starting player, their opponent skips the growth action and can still perform the plant and cut actions, and if they still have a special action token, use the watering can. This allows both players to get the same number of turns. If there is a draw, the player with more unplayed special action tokens wins. If the tie remains, you get to play again. It's a tie. This game also comes with a number of different variants. For example, there's a variant for playing with children, which is designed to make it more accessible for them. In this variant, you flip the pots to the side without the tool icons, and the assigned special actions won't be used in this game. However, the special action tokens are still used to reserve flowers in this variant. Now that I've taken the time to explain how to play Blossoms, I want to take a few moments to provide my final thoughts on the game. I feel as though this is a fairly well-balanced game in the sense that they have a lot of things that they did well, and there are some things that they didn't do so well. One of the things I like is that this is a game designed for 2 players. Most often, I play games with one other person, so having a game specifically designed for 2 players is very beneficial. You don't have to worry about scaling or not having enough players, as might be the case in a game that requires 3 or more players. I like that this has a shorter runtime because it makes it a great filler game and allows me to get more games in during the course of a day than I might normally if I were playing a longer game. I think the art and components are very strong as well. I really like the design on the flowers, the cardstock is very nice, I like the rounded edges, the box is a great size, it stores everything comfortably into the box, it's relatively table friendly, it's family friendly, it's pretty easy to teach, the child friendly variant makes it even easier if you're playing with younger players. It's budget friendly. It's basically all of the friendlies. As for what I don't like about the game, even though there are a few variants to this game, I don't feel like there's a ton going on. It's a very basic, very wholesome, very zen gardening game that feels like a lot of other games with the gardening mechanic in it. It doesn't seem like it's anything particularly special when it's compared to other games within its theme and focus. Also, while I like all the variants, I found it strange that they designed a game specifically for 2 players but also added a 3-player variant. If you're going to make a 2-player game, as far as I'm concerned, I would just prefer it stay a 2-player game. But other than that, I don't really have anything to say about this game. It's definitely a decent game, it's very relaxing, and I like that about it. However, ultimately, in case it's not clear, it's still pretty middle of the road for me, but I think it's something that's worth checking out, especially if you need something that's budget-friendly, table-friendly, family-friendly, and ideal for a 2-player game. And there you have it, my how to play and review of Rebel Games Blossoms. What did you think of my how to play and review? Did I leave anything out? Did you agree with what I had to say? Have you played Blossoms and what do you think of it? Let me know down below in the comments. I always like to know what you kings, queens, and in-betweens think. And if you like what you saw here today, please smash that like button until it's blue, subscribe, ring that bell so you'll always know what's up, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye guys!
Hi, Tisha Valenza, aka Poison Ivy, and you've just been watching King's Entertainment Reviews. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.